everyone, my name is Carino Avila and I'm from Group 2. Have you ever gotten lost at Fresno State campus before? Or have you ever struggled trying to find your next class? Well, I know I have, and I know a lot of you guys have too. So this is why my group and I came up with the solution. The solution is a Google virtual map where you can find your next class in an instant. This Google virtual map will not only be useful for freshmen and transfer students, but it will be useful for all students in general. By just turning on your location and typing in where you want to go, the app will automatically show you where you need to go to get to the class. This app will also help many students find parking space. Parking space is a really big deal because it takes a lot of time trying to find a parking space, and this app will automatically tell you where that available parking space is, so you could just go in and park and save your time. You can save time, gas, and money. In this video, I'll be discussing about three things in order to help us get started with the app. The first thing we're gonna need is partnerships. So we're gonna find out who we're gonna need help from in order to establish this app. The second thing I'm gonna be talking about is how the supplies we need in order to help us get started with this app. And the third thing is how to keep our downloaders interested and keep using our app in order for the app not to be used once only. As my first source, I emailed this guy named Ronaldo Gashi, who is who was one of the persons that led a project of creating a layout of our Fresno State's Henry Madden library on Google Maps. Even though we had a small conversation, we were only able to share limited amount of information. As I thought Gashi was doing something similar as our project, it was quite different. His project included creating a layout of our library. So basically, on Google Maps, if you zoom in, you can see all 5 floors they had. As we talked further, he told me that he couldn't help me as much because he didn't have experience building an app. So the only thing he told me was to partner up with somebody that already has experience building apps. He told me to partner up with a group of people from the science computer department. He also sent me a link to help me get started on the Google layout of the school map. Now the real question is, how will we get people to constantly use our app? Well, according to the article Apple App Creation, written by Anthony Bruno, it gives advice to app creators on how to make their downloaders keep coming back to the application. He mentions that creating a useful app isn't as easy as just slapping a couple of pictures together. In the article, Bruno used a music app for his example. With all his main points, Bruno was able to show how his music app outstood any other type of music app. Main point, he suggested to have downloaders get involved with the app. For his music app example, he suggested to have clips or a couple of free music so he could get the downloaders' attention. His second main point was to get features on the app. So basically, people could download their favorite artists' music. They could buy concert tickets, or they could even buy their merchandise. In the article, internet information provider companies patent for entering location from an image just mainly talks about how images play a big role in maps and how they are constantly updated. In this article, they inform us that our smartphones capture one or more images from our locations, such as street names, buildings, or even addresses, and that image is compared from the image from the database, and once it identifies a match, they are able to locate you. We all know for sure that our database is going to be full of images because it's going to need geographical related images that represents location. In the article, they also talk about a search engine where you could automatically just type in where you want to go and it'll show you a path to where you could go. However, in order for the location to work, you have to add information and images to where you desire where you want to go. For instance, we all know that on Google Maps, if you zoom in, there's gonna be street names. There's gonna be if you zoom in even more, there's gonna be more uh, buildings that have names on them, businesses, and so on and so forth. Alright, so in conclusion, as to the advice and help from Ronaldo, it would really be helpful if we have people that specialize in certain areas that we may not know. And if we do get people that specialize in certain areas, then we could most likely create less errors on this app. And not just that, but we could also have people give their ideas on what we can and cannot have on this app. Alright, as for the database, our database system is gonna be really full with images because of our buildings. Our buildings is not only gonna have just images, but it's also gonna have information on it. So such as like their names and stuff, so our search engines can automatically find them. And as for our parking lots is gonna be also filled up with a lot of imagery because it's gonna be constantly updating, telling you if there's available parking spots or if they're taking and such. Alright, so as for Bruno's article, even though it talked about a music app, I still feel like his main ideas can still function with our own Google virtual map, giving us ideas on how to make people come back to the app and what other function it can have and so on and so forth.